Welcome back to Where Clarets Walk. Is Josh Laurent undroppable? Does he now keep his place in this Burnley side for the foreseeable? Welcome to Where Clarets Walk. Top of the league for at least one night anyway, the Clarets. Welcome Andrew, Jordan, and of course Dan back to discuss Burnley 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. First of all, I want to get your views. Did any of you watch Leeds and Sheffield United the day before? Were any of you impressed by Leeds?
I don't tend to watch any team that ain't Burnley.
Fair enough. So you might be spying on the opposition. Some people think Leeds, Sheffield United were the top two, but hopefully you guys are going to have a lot to say in that. All right, let's jump straight into it then. Jordan, for you, talk to us about how good your man from Stoke was, Laurent.
Well, like I said on the last podcast, when we're on, and I said he could have been Player of the Month. I honestly think he's an absolute talisman. He's fantastic in the middle.
He's taken his while, hasn't he, to get into this team from the suspension and then playing regularly. Dan, is he now undroppable for you?
He seems to be. Certainly, that seems to be the popular opinion from most fans. I think they've tried Hannibal. That doesn't seem to have worked. But when he plays, it seems to click a bit more. So I don't know if he's undroppable, but certainly I think he's getting himself on the team sheet.
Okay, we have got too many players called Josh in this team, though, Andrew, haven't we? I think there's three of them now. Andrew, what's your view on Josh Laurent? Hello, Andrew. We seem to have lost you for a moment there.
He thinks he's that good, he's stunned to silence.
No, absolutely. Okay. All right, then we'll move on then. Okay, John, Sheffield Wednesday, decent at home, but was that as comfortable as it sounded?
I wouldn't say so. I honestly thought this would be a bit of a banana skin game. I really thought it'd be one of them we'd take very easy, and then they'd turn up like, let's look at Plymouth, let's look at Portsmouth. But no, I think the boys turned up. It was really a well-oiled team. I think the changes that Parker's made, that gives him his due, that he's making changes as and where he sees fit. I thought it was a fantastic performance. The best one we've seen this season when we're talking tactical.
Dan, does it look as if you guys are looking a bit slicker? We've talked before about disjointedness, but does it look like it's finally coming together?
Yeah, it made me look like a fool from last week, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
A few people said to me, "Oh, crikey, old doom and gloom you are," and we were the first half were a bit shaky, but then second half seemed much slicker, much more together, and a well-oiled performance, as you rightly say. So I have to kind of almost eat my hat, so to speak, because I thought it was a much improved performance. We're not the finished article, but it was much better and getting towards where I think we hope we will be.
Okay, and let's have a look at some of the. There we go. That one. Miles better without Foster was a viewpoint. Fleming made a difference. The defence was class. I mean, Foster wasn't available because of international injury, I believe. Jordan, were you miles better without Foster? Because some people's view of it was that completely the opposite was true.
No, I think it's in every every walk of football. Fans are very fickle. Last season, you could have said he was one of our better players, and now this season, because he hasn't hit the ground running, it's easy to say, we don't want him in the starting 11. I think Foster up front with Fleming playing just behind him, playing the balls in, because he has had a lack of balls, a lack of crosses, things like that. I think he will really, really cook with Fleming just behind him. So don't judge, just yet, I'd say.
Okay, Andrew, welcome back. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me this time?
Okay, we can, yeah. Thank you. We're just talking about the Foster debate. What's your view on it?
Controversially, I'm not necessarily happy that he's out injured, but I'm glad that there's chance for someone else to come in now. I've not really been impressed with Foster this season. Obviously, he had his mental health issues last year, and then, he had a couple of injuries. So I do really want him to do well with us. I do really want to back him and for him to really succeed. But so far this season, he's not looked overly interested. So I am hoping that this little bit of time out does give him a bit of a kick up the backside, and hopefully we can see a bit more improvement when he does come back from injury. But I'm hoping when he does, and he does start to play again, that him and Fleming can have a little bit of a good, a little bit of teamwork together, and hopefully they will start creating.
Dan, you can settle the debate on this one then.
I think Foster's an easy scapegoat. I think we haven't been playing very well. He comes out of the team, we play well, and people are now saying we do better without him. I don't think Foster was the problem. I think, like we've said many times, we needed that time to gel to get better. And I think yesterday, I think the people behind him was also changed yesterday. Laurent came in, he starts. They took out Perez and they played Humphreys as well at the left. They played Humphreys and Roberts as the fullbacks. So I don't think Foster was the issue. I think maybe getting it right behind him was the issue, and then we get the supply right, and then all of a sudden we start scoring. So I think, it's easy to blame Foster, but I don't think it was his fault. I think he may have even scored had he been fit yesterday.
Okay. All right. Here's another one. Noah says, I think Connor Roberts is our most underrated player. I'd go as far as to say he's one of our best players in possession. He's up there with Cullen. Jordan?
Don't get me wrong, Roberts, absolute servant, and I do love the guy, especially when he pushed Wout Weghorst, when Wout were having his bad time and they got on the international stage. Do love him for things like that. Roberts, to me, looks a little bit lazy sometimes. Now, you don't kill the messenger, but I wasn't over the moon with his performance. Yeah, he's a good player, but I wouldn't say outstanding. He just played his part. That's what I'd say personally.
Okay. Andrew, let me get your view on this. Is he the most underrated player in that team?
No, I think he does go under the radar a little bit. I think he does the nitty-gritty, dirty.
We are losing you again, Andrew.
You need a fullback to do. He's quite a bit more of a traditional fullback with his defending than going forward. He does like to go forward, but not. Oh, am I still here?
Just about, I think. Yeah, it's in and out. Okay. If you can sort your internet, perhaps that'd be great. It sounds a little bit wobbly, just like Burnley have been recently, haven't we, Dan? What about for you then, Dan? Talk to us about Roberts.
I think Roberts, he kind of falls into that category like Ashley Barnes does. He is passionate, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a bit, I can't say the term, but you know what I mean. In the other team's faces, that kind of stuff. He has the ability to wind them up, and as such, I think fans like him. So he's the most underrated player. I don't think he is. Now, you guys can't see, but my wife's just off screen. She's a big Burnley fan as well. She was nodding along with you, Jordan, saying he is underrated. He's a brilliant player. She's now mad at me and kicking me. However, I threatened to turn the camera. She won't like that. But no, I don't think he's the most underrated. I think he's good, but I think he falls into that category where he's more loved because of the way he acts and because it looks like he shows a bit of passion. But to say he's a good player or he's underrated, not a bad player, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's of that quality. Okay.
All right, then. We don't have to talk about goalkeepers this week either, do we? That we can, for 1 week, not even mention between the sticks. All right, let's have a look then at the next set of fixtures for you. Hull, first of all, away from home this midweek, which is a bit of a trip on a Wednesday night, and then QPR, who are bottom of the league, at home next Saturday. So, why won't this be 6 points, Jordan?
See, now it's one of them again. How many runs of games have we gone? 12 points at all. There's 6 points there. It's keeping the lads as if you've got to act like this is your last game of the season. This is going to win you the title, and I think that's a mentality we've got to take into it. Hull, I think they can come at you a bit too much, which I think will play into our hands massively. It's not like put 10 men behind the ball and come and break us down, which, as we've seen, isn't quite clicking yet. QPR, though, I feel will be the team to go 10 behind the ball, break us down. So I can see, I'd love 6, don't get me wrong, but with recent performances, I'd see a 4 points, maybe, because I can see it being a draw against QPR, only going off what I saw against Preston. And what I saw against Oxford, if we can't break them down, it's got draw written all over it.
Okay, all right. Andrew, how far do you think Burnley can go this season? It's your first time on here, so I want to ask you: are you a half glass full claret or a half empty one?
Yeah, I'm a glass half full. I think this season we could go all the way, but we've got to take it game by game. We've got to focus on the next game and take it like that rather than think about where we can finish.
Okay. One final bit of news before we get on to this one. Jack Cork, Dan, over the international break, returned in a coach player role in the academy. How pleasing was it to see that you're keeping those sort of roles in house?
I think it's quite good. It's difficult to say when you have players who, certainly when you do it with managers, they say, "Oh, he knows the club, he knows this, that, the other." Whereas Jack Cott actually does know the club, and he's got that kind of continuity to push through from where he's been at the pro level, and then can put his experience down to the lower lads, and he has an understanding of what the club means to the fans as well. So I think his wisdom that he can impart onto that, as well as his professionalism, it's always good to see. In my opinion, others will say maybe different, but in my opinion, it's good to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's doing the under-21s. Is that right?
As far as I'm aware, yeah.
Yeah, with Andy Farrell. So, yeah, I think it's always. I mean, lots of clubs are going for that structure, aren't they? I think Tom Huddleston's doing it as well. With
there's a few clubs gone around it. I mean, I'm old enough to remember watching Andy Farrell play for us. So that's. I mean, Jordan's scratching his head saying, "Who's Andy Farrell?" I was. It was like early 90s. He was a player for us, but there are a lot of clubs that are adopting this kind of model. So I think certainly that seems to be what Burnley are trying to implement. And for me, certainly, long may it continue.
Okay. All right, brilliant. Thank you very much for that. Then next week we'll just review those games with you. Before we let you go, it is Halloween around the corner, so we are asking all our clubs this week: who's the scariest, nastiest player you've had the privilege of watching in a Burnley shirt? You've had a few over the years. Jordan, you're the youngest here, so you can go. You can go first.
I have to go pure and simply on because I have this man's name tattooed on one of my cheeks downstairs. I lost a bet, you see. I lost a bet. Joey Barton, right? The absolute man, myth, legend. I love this man with all my heart. and I know he said controversial things in the media at the minute, but I find it so hard to disagree with him. He could tell me the sky's green, and I'll just go, yeah, no worries, Joey. Green today. But yeah, for me, it's got to be Joey.
Okay, Andrew, who for you is the nastiest piece of work you've seen play for your club? We've lost you again. Never mind. Oh, you're back. Go on. Can you hear us? No. Lost you. Okay, Dan, take it away.
I don't know if it's the nastiest, but certainly for one for me was Kevin Ball. If only for that tackle putting on Kevin Dunn back
initially my first thought. Yeah.
Anyway, that's who I would have gone with, Kevin Ball.
Kevin Ball. Okay, right. Andrew, there's a massive delay on the line, so let's see if we can get your answer. Go. Who's the nastiest player?
You've both taken mine. It was between Joey Barton and Kevin Ball. So yeah, I'd probably go Joey Barton, but Kevin Ball honourable mention after the tackle on David Dunn.
All right, brilliant. Okay, can you beat that? Can you beat Kevin Ball? Can you beat Joey Barton? If you can, drop us a comment below, and we'll give some of these a shout out next week. Right, you lot, enjoy your trip to Hull. Enjoy your game against QPR. Should be a cricket score that, given the tables, but we've been here before, haven't we? Against Portsmouth and against Plymouth, where it's been beating that low block that's been very difficult for Burnley to do. So let's see how Parker's boys get on with that next week. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Enjoy the football this week. Good to have proper football back.